What up, Tiger here? Today I want to talk about happiness and the fact that I believe happiness comes from within, not from without. Everyone always looks out first, right? They're like, "Oh my gosh, my car is terrible, my house is terrible, or it's not big enough, my girlfriend's not pretty enough, my boyfriend's not nice enough." It's everything around them is wrong, which makes my core inside wrong. So I guess we can be affected by the outside, but I think it starts actually the opposite from the inside, so if we're not really happy with ourselves, and if our core is very, very negative, I feel like we're gonna put out negative waves. Our energies talks. You can be passive aggressive, or you can be just averagely talking and be very aggressive. And people around you, of course, they're not gonna want to be around you. Or if you're just bitter from, I don't know, maybe a situation, yeah, your bitterness will also make people run away, run for the doors. Compared to feeling actually happy with yourself internally, and being happy with your situation, being happy with who you are and what you achieved, and just happy with life overall, you're gonna put out happy waves, right? Happy people are infectious. You want to be around happy people. I don't know if there's like a secret. I went to TED Talks and they have tons of videos on happiness, on everything you can think of. I love TED Talks. I haven't watched it recently, but TED Talks is funny because you go there, you find a video, because everything's clickbaity, right? And then you get all psyched up. You're like, yeah, happiness. At the end, everything goes back to normal. you know? There's like no video you can find will keep you so pumped up every 5 seconds. I guess that's why some videos get popular, because they keep you pumped, right? Every time you watch it. I'm not saying I'm a guru or there's any kind of trick to being happy. In fact, I would probably say the opposite about being happy. I don't think there's any trick. All I'm saying is I think it starts within and it goes outwards. I mean, unless you're lucky enough to be so kind of superficial and shallow that literally you get a new car, oh, a new Ferrari, I'm so happy. You're just happy for the rest of the whole year. That's awesome. I wish I could be like that. That's like a 5-year-old, you know what I mean? 5-year-olds, you give them like a candy bar and they're like, candy bar, I got a candy bar, like that. I wish I had that, But at the same time, that happiness is very, very short, It's probably the same happiness a druggie gets after his fix. So I'm talking about like actual long-term happiness that you have to work with from the inside out. A perfect example of this is Superwoman. She talked about how she was super depressed in college and stuff like that. And for me, I could totally relate. I watched her live video. I watched many people's live videos. For me, like just talking to people and understanding them truly as a person, as a human being, and sharing these real life human experiences or just hearing about it, that's what I live for. It's what I love. Because I feel like I'm not alone, because there's a lot of YouTube personalities out there that I can't relate to. They're just like, yo, dude, let's do this, and it's just like ridiculous, and it might be like funny for the moment, but beyond that, they're just entertainers. I can't see them as a human being because they're not doing anything really human or talking about anything human-like. So I understand people want to be entertained. I get that. But sometimes people also want to relate. And that's the idea of the community of YouTube. And yes, I do talk fast. You have no idea. So I want to talk about my unhappiness just for a moment, okay? I've learned in 5 years what my unhappiness is, the cause and effect of it. And it was honestly me not achieving what I thought I wanted to achieve. It's ironic because I was told at the age of 3 you're going to college, and I was like, okay, I'm going to college. Didn't know what it was. But by the time I was 10 years old, I figured out what college was, and I didn't really want to go. And I couldn't finish college because lack of money. Simple as that. I had 1 year left, and I would have walked away with 2 degrees. But no money, therefore can't finish. Have a huge student loan like every other person in America, and no degree. The effect here in Japan is less jobs, okay? If you have a degree in Japan, you're pretty much able to access at least 80% of the market. If you don't have any degree, you can probably access maybe like 20% of the market. And that's the downfall, you know? So like, I want my degree because I want to work. But at the same time, when I was back in America, I was doing a lot better in some ways. So like, Japan in itself kind of sort of like, at least this is my thinking was the problem with my unhappiness. That was my thinking. I'm pointing externally, right? I'm like, oh, okay, Japan doesn't accept degrees, can't work, no job, no money, can't eat, can't provide. All this is external stuff. But at the same time, so I was feeling pretty down on myself about not being able to get a degree, like I did something wrong for, you know, basically being poor. I did something wrong. I did nothing wrong though, right? It's not my fault I'm poor, you know? People are like, why don't you work harder? It's kind of hard to work and come up with like, I don't know, $15,000. Actually, I need $30,000 for 1 year. So coming up with that much money in 1 year, yeah, there's loans, there's grants and stuff. I exhausted a lot of that. That's why I said when I walk away, I'll have 2 degrees because I exhausted a lot of that. Maybe in the future I will finish that, who knows? But at the same time, when I think about who I am honestly as a person, and I think back to that 10-year-old who didn't want to go to college, that's me walking away from who I am. Because as we grow up, our parents are our first teachers, and they guide us, and they tell us where we were supposed to go. At the same time, though, as they're pulling us along, we're getting farther and farther from who we are as our core values as human beings. So indirectly, I'm saying we become less and less happy. You know, a simple example is, you know, as a kid, you're like, I want candy, 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 candy. Your parents are like, no candy. Your happiness just went like this in like 2 seconds. Of course, you're a kid. You don't understand that candy's not good for you. You can get diabetes, lose your teeth, make you fat, whatever, you know. But it still did, regardless whatever you say, it did take a pinch of your happiness away, you know, doing the responsible thing. And as you progress and you get older, you're always doing the responsible thing. So it seems backwards, but indirectly, it seems like responsibility like creates less happiness, actually, when in fact you think it should create more. So that's kind of a strange thing you have to figure out how to balance, you know. But again, I think it starts within, you know. If you can balance out your happiness within yourself, I think everything will come together externally. So that's just my idea. If you guys got any other ideas on how to be more happy, or just I'd love to hear your ideas on happiness in general, you know, because everyone's ideas are different. So anyways, until next video, peace.